I wanted to talk today about acne, cystic breakouts, inflammation, bacteria, and how breakouts are formed in the skin in the first place, so that you have the knowledge and the power to make informed decisions around your skin and how to treat your skin, and so that you have control over the breakouts you've been getting and a true understanding of what your skin's trying to say and why it's saying it. Now, to begin, I wanted to draw up a visual for you guys so you can actually see what I'm talking about and try and make sense of how breakouts formed in the first place. So this is my drawing of a sebaceous unit. So basically this unit is where hair follicles are grown from and where our sebation glands are attached to, so where we create our oil in our skin. Now this is the surface layer of our skin here, and this is that hair follicle where you can see hair is coming out of. Now it's really important to see the space around this hair follicle. You can see that there's enough room for oxygen to come into this hair follicle easily. And what oxygen creates in the skin is an environment that is free from bacteria. So it is essential that oxygen is able to enter our hair follicles, and it's also a really important part of energizing our skin cells as well. So oxygen is a must in order to keep the skin healthy, functioning at its best, and free of congestion. Over here we have our sebaceous gland. So this is where our oil is created. Now, a really healthy oil is water-like. I want you to imagine it being fluid-like. It can move freely up and out of the skin to protect our skin, remembering that oil is a very important part of our skin's barrier function. So oil is what helps to create moisture on the skin surface and protect our skin from everything that we are exposing our skin to daily. It's what keeps our moisture and our hydration levels in, and what keeps irritation, pathogens, bacteria out. You can see if it's water-like, that oil can come up out of that sebaceous gland and deliver that healthy lipid to the surface of our skin. However, if we are hormonal, especially as females leading up to ovulation, when we have that slight increase of testosterone, which can trigger this sebaceous gland to produce a thicker consistency of oil, we start to see thicker oil being produced. I want you to imagine, rather than the goal of fluid-like, water-like oil being produced, we start to see a thicker oil such as honey or cottage cheese being created in the sebaceous gland. And because it's thick, it can't quite make its way up and out of the skin of that sebaceous gland to then deliver that beautiful moisture and protection to the skin's outermost layer. So what we start to see is a blockage occurring. So the oil then starts to block that hair follicle. And you can see when we start to see a blockage like this forming, we're preventing that much needed oxygen from entering the skin because it can't get through the blockage that's been created from that oil. Because that sebum is so thick, it can't make its way up and out of the skin freely, so our skin is lacking moisture. It's lacking that much needed protection or that barrier support to protect itself from environment, from pathogens, from bacteria entering the skin. So we start to see a skin that is unprotected and that has a slight barrier impairment because of that lack of even distributed oil on the surface. Remembering when our skin is lacking lipids, it can feel a little dry, but we've also got water evaporating from the skin because there's no longer proper protection on this surface layer. So we have water starting to evaporate up and out of the surface layer, which is causing dehydration and a skin that's unable to function at its best. Most importantly, what this blockage is causing is bacteria to form. Because we cannot get oxygen into the hair follicle, we start to see a breeding ground for bacteria within that hair follicle. Now, the first thing that your smart skin does when there is a buildup of bacteria that's forming is create inflammation to try and clear that unwanted breeding of bacteria within that hair follicle. Basically, that is the very start of how a breakout is formed in the skin. So, why are breakouts formed in the first place? Well, first and most important is our oil. So, oil consistency. If your oil consistency is not water-like and is thick and gluggy and honey or cottage cheese-like, it cannot come out of the skin the way it's designed to. So we're going to see a blockage that occurs that then prevents that oxygen from entering, and we're going to start to see bacteria forming in that hair follicle. So the key to prevention of breakouts, especially cystic hormonal breakouts, is to maintain healthy oil production. To do that, we need to be digesting adequate amounts of EFAs, so essential fatty acids, via our diet, but also via supplementation. The reason we are so big on supporting the skin from the inside out at Fresh Face Skin is because your skin is the largest organ. It is an organ that is the last to receive your blood and your nutrition, and therefore it's always lacking in internal support. When we digest 2 to 3 servings of fish per week, we have to remember that our skin is the last to receive that EFA, that nutrition from the fish. So we can't guarantee that your skin is always being fed enough of those essential fatty acids from the inside. So this is where we look at supplement support, either an algae supplement for those of you that are vegan, or a fish oil supplement for those that don't mind fish oil, that is high in EPA and DHA levels. That is the omega-3 that our skin needs in order to maintain healthy oil. And when I say maintaining healthy oil, I mean the consistency of the oil and the amount of the oil that's being produced in the skin. Remembering that a consistent oil will prevent the blockage from forming in the first place, and it will also maintain that healthy barrier function so that your skin is adequately protected from its environment and preventing hydration from escaping the skin, which will help your skin to heal and recover if congestion or a breakout is formed in the first place. Now, usually when it comes to omegas, we recommend a high quality and a maintenance dose, which is usually sitting around that 3,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA levels, so that omega-3 content. And that is usually a standard to maintain healthy oil, healthy skin function, healthy barrier function. And if we are treating a thicker oil, so someone that is suffering from hormonal congestion, which is quite consistent, then we would up from there as recommended. Really important for those that are taking essential fatty acid supplements that you're taking them on a full stomach, so after food, and it is a high quality. So just checking the EPA, DHA levels, and preferably non-farmed essential fatty acid supplements. The second cause of acne and breakouts forming is dead skin cell buildup. So if you can imagine, we've got an oil that is imbalanced within the skin, and we're causing this blockage to form in the first place. You can see we can't get oxygen in, and we also can't get that healthy oil out. So we start to see a skin that is lacking in moisture and that outer layer of protection. And as a result of that slight barrier impairment, we start to see a skin that is lacking of water. So we're starting to see moisture escaping the skin and a skin that is then lacking in hydration levels. Now, when our skin is dehydrated, it's really important that we understand our skin is not functioning in a balanced way. Our skin needs hydration at an optimal amount to naturally desquamate or exfoliate itself every 28 to say 36 days. So really, if you've got a healthy, balanced, hydrated skin, your skin should be exfoliating itself. However, because we've got a lack of oil being distributed in a healthy way from the skin, because it is quite thick due to those hormonal changes, we start to see a skin that has water escaping, which means we have a skin that's dehydrated and unable to actually exfoliate itself. So it's no longer shedding and sloughing off those old cells. And because of that lack of natural oil distribution, we also see a skin that is a little more dry, impaired, and exposed to its environment. So we then start to see a build-up of dead skin cells forming a little on that surface. And when there's dead skin cells formed here over that hair follicle, oxygen can no longer enter the hair follicle, which means we've got another breeding ground for bacteria. And again, above all, it's about balancing this oil, because once that oil is controlled, we're going to have a skin that's able to protect itself, it's able to hold on to moisture and hydration better to prevent that dehydration and to allow the skin to shed and exfoliate the way it's designed to. However, with age comes that slowdown of cellular activity within the skin. So this is where we start to look at exfoliants within your routine to try and remove that dead skin cell buildup, to try and prevent that buildup forming in the first place, so we can continue to allow optimal oxygen to enter the hair follicle to prevent that bacteria forming in the first place and therefore that breakout forming in the first place. Exfoliants like our AHA enzyme exfoliator have the glycolic acid as well as the 3 enzymes in it, as well as a range of powerful plant-based antioxidants and stem cells to help support the cells, but also to remove bacteria that can be closely linked to acne. For those of you that are dry and feel that you're getting those underlining breakouts, our recovery mask may be a better option for you. That has a PHA acid in it, which is a really gentle form of exfoliation, as well as a whole range of plant-based ceramides, so those omega-3s, to support the moisture content on the skin's surface, so that we're relieving dryness while treating that build-up of dead skin around the hair follicle to prevent bacteria forming. The third most common cause for breakouts is an incorrect pH level within the skin. So our skin should be sitting at around 5.5 to 6.5 on the pH scale, which is actually more towards the slightly acidic side. And the reason we want our skin to be slightly acidic in pH is because an acidic environment prevents bacteria from forming. So if your skin's at a healthy pH, we have a skin that is fighting off bacteria buildup. Now, pH imbalances can come from a variety of things. They can come from overuse of active ingredients, which can cause that barrier impairment, or could be due to oil, coming back to the oil, being a little irregular within the skin and therefore not allowing that support to come through for that barrier protection. So you have skin that's naturally impaired and more vulnerable to its environment, and that can obviously cause a pH differ in the skin. When it comes to treating our skin with external products, it's really important that we work on exfoliation, balancing of oil, and the pH level, making sure that we have a skin that is regulated in its oil production and balanced and able to protect itself from its environment while keeping that hydration within the skin. So all about barrier function, and they come from our Soother Cleanser, our Soother Treatment. Dead skin cell buildup, obviously giving your skin that little extra assistance where needed with exfoliation. We've spoken about optimizing hydration levels, and that is so important when it comes to maintaining balanced skin function and natural exfoliation. But occasionally, as we get older especially, our skin needs that little extra bit of help when it comes to removing that dead skin cell buildup to help prevent those breakouts forming in the first place. So products like our AHA enzyme or our recovery mask, depending on your skin and your skin type, are a great way to regularly just buff off and help remove any surface buildup to allow your products to optimally absorb, but to also prevent that bacteria forming and allow that oxygen to enter your hair follicles. Hydration booster is a really great one to support your hydration levels, to allow for that healthy desquamation or exfoliation in the skin, but it also contains niacinamide, so vitamin B3, which has such a powerful effect when it comes to regulating the pH level of the skin. It helps to also regulate oil secretion as well as assist with natural exfoliation in the skin and balance out that pigment producing cell, which can often be overstimulated when we have a lot of surface inflammation, which is why we can be left with that hyperpigment, that slight marking when a lot of inflammation or a cystic breakout heals. So helping to calm that pigment producing cell down so we have a clearer skin once the breakouts have healed. Products like our healer treatment and our healer cleanser are here to calm inflammation and also remove that bacteria. So when the skin's in an inflamed state, like it is with cystic acne, it's really important that we work with powerful plant extracts to soothe that inflammation that's come through, to allow the skin to heal quicker. Remembering, the quicker that inflammation is healed, the quicker the skin can begin to heal. We also want to use ingredients like glycolic acid or charcoal that have natural antibacterial benefits to them, so that they can start to break away that bacteria that has formed within that hair follicle, to give your skin extra support when it comes to healing that breakout. The good thing about the healer treatment is you are able to spot treat. So it doesn't have to be an all over product use. It can just be to the area needed. And remembering that when you apply a product that's working on the skin for 8 or more hours a day, so you're applying it in the morning and or at night, you're going to get better results, because you're feeding those underlining layers with the ingredients that are needed to heal that inflammation, to heal that bacteria, and to start to improve the cell function so that the skin can actually heal fully. I hope that helped. A lot of information, but knowledge is power, and it's my job as a skin educator and a skincare founder to educate you on how to make the right choices for your skin. And understanding how breakout cystic acne is formed in the first place gives you power in your choices when it comes to skincare, and just understanding what your skin's trying to say. Remember not to be hard on yourself. Your skin is always telling you what may be going on internally, so try and listen to it. And remember that it does take time and consistency.